I'd now like to introduce to you a doctor who's from Boston, who has come with us to Armenia on several occasions and has been of terrific help in obtaining equipment. Dr. Dwayne Baharozian.
Hello, everybody. When Roger said he wanted me to come to this gala to give me an award, I said, Roger, that's not necessary, but Roger's a hard guy to talk things out of, so I want to give you a little thumbnail sketch of how I unwittingly became involved with the Armenian Eye Care Project. In 2017, a friend of mine who's a patient, he's an Armenian professor of engineering in the Boston area college, said, we're going to Armenia, we're doing a project, would you mind donating some money for the students? They need some living money. I said, sure. I wrote a check, he came to the office. He said, by the way, we're doing part of our program with the Armenian Eye Care Project, and I gave your name to Roger Ohanessian. Do you know him? I said, I think I've heard his name, but I really don't know him very well. Well, I gave your name to Roger, and I hope you don't mind, but he's going to call you. So within the hour, Roger calls me and says to me, he starts with the pleasantries of he was born in Watertown, and he's from the Massachusetts area, and do I know this person and that person? And my aunts grew up in Watertown. And we got through that, and he said, hey, look, do you happen to know anybody that can get us equipment and supplies? We have trips going on every year. I said, well, I know a few people here and there. He goes, great, I'm going to send you an email. So again, within the hour, I get an email with a 12-page Excel spreadsheet of all the things Roger needs for this trip. So I'm looking at this 12-page spreadsheet, and I'm thinking, who the heck is this guy? I honestly am floored, but I don't say it to anybody. I'm Armenian, right? We're resourceful, we're resilient, we're relentless at times. I'm not going to just blow it off. So I make a few phone calls, get Johnson & Johnson on the phone. I bring them into the office, and I show them the list, and they throw about $25,000 worth of stuff at us, and it's like, oh, that's pretty good. I've never done this before. It seems good. I then call Alcon, and I have some friends in the company, and I fill out the form, and the form's somewhat arduous, and the next thing I know, 80 boxes of supplies and equipment land at the doorstep of my office. 80 boxes. I apparently didn't check the right box. They weren't sent to California. They were dumped on my waiting room floor. So that was about $400,000 worth of stuff, and it was probably 30% of what he asked for. So Roger's happy at that point. We go to Armenia. The whole family goes to Armenia that summer, including my son. And we have a very good time, and it bites you, as Roger says, with these villagers, and it becomes imbued in your soul that we've got to help these people. So 2018 comes around, another trip. We hit up Alcon. Alcon doesn't give $400,000 that year. They give $500,000 worth of stuff. So it's pretty good. 2019 comes. They give even more. I start getting bold. I ask for equipment. So they give us a phacoemulsification machine. So we're doing pretty well. 2020 comes along. Everyone knows 2020 is COVID. And I'm thinking, well, this is pretty good. The one silver lining is I'll get a reprieve that I won't have to ask Alcon because we're not going to Armenia. Basically, 2 years to this night, the night before Thanksgiving, 2020, I'm sitting down to eat with my family, and my phone rings, and it's Roger. And I'm looking at like, I'm sure he's not calling me to wish me happy Thanksgiving. I wonder what this is about. I answer the phone, and Roger, I've never heard him like this. He was desperate. He was inconsolable. He was basically incomprehensible what he was talking to me about. He was saying, Dwayne, that war in Artsakh with the Azeris, Have you followed it? I said, well, it's on TV. I see it from that angle. He goes, you don't understand what's going on. They're blinding our soldiers. They're capturing them. They're taking them prisoners of war. They're blinding them purposely and giving them back because it takes 2 people to take care of a blind person for the rest of their life. The drones are dropping explosions on the playgrounds. They're blinding our children. At this point, I would have run through a wall for Roger. I said, Roger, what do you need? He said, we need orbital expanders. We need orbital implants. We need orbital equipment. And we need at least 1, hopefully 2 constellation units. I think, okay, I'm writing all this down. These are really out of the realm of what I do on a day-to-day basis. I write it down. I say, fine, Roger, I'll work on this. I get off the phone, and I realize I don't even know what a constellation unit is. So I call back, Roger, where do I get a constellation unit? He goes, call Alcon. So I call Alcon, and I say, look, I plead my case. I supplicate myself to the nth degree. I say, we need a constellation unit, and for everyone in this room, what it does is it helps remove the jelly in the back of the eye. And they say to me, Dr. Baharozian, we enjoy working with you, we respect what you do, but we don't give those away. In fact, we've never donated those ever to a worthwhile cause. And I can't argue with Alcon at that point. They've been very good to me. I say, okay, so how do I get one of these? He said, well, if we ever did give you one of those, you'd have to fill out this form and that form, and we don't think about it until March, and you might get it in April, but we've never given one. So as everyone can also attest in this room, Armenians don't take no for an answer very well. Okay, and no doesn't always mean no. So at this point, I say, okay, Alcon's not giving us one. I drag all my Alcon buddies into my office. I sit them down, I say, I need a constellation unit. And we're not leaving this room until we figure out how we're getting one. Because I'm not telling Roger, we're not getting... And they basically, they're quiet. They're all quiet. They work for this wonderful company, and nobody's saying a thing, except one of my buddies is in the back, and he's kind of twitching. And I'm saying, okay, what's going on? You know something and you don't want to say it. And he says, do not ever repeat this with my name, so I'm not going to give his name. Check eBay. I said, what are you talking about? Check eBay. He goes, check eBay, and you didn't hear this from me. So I go on eBay. Sure enough, there's 2 of these units. Okay, and I'm thinking, why would eBay be selling this $200,000 machine? So I call them both, and we find one that came out of a VA in Chicago. It was never used. Never used. And what these VA hospitals have to do is they have to turn their equipment over to keep their budget. They turn in new equipment to get other new equipment. We end up getting this unit. It was marvelous for like $20,000. So that was wonderful. So we were very happy about that. Going forward that next year, we did fill out all those forms, and Alcon then came through with an amazing amount of equipment. As Roger said, we asked for the moon from Alcon. We asked for a constellation. We asked for a phacoemulsification machine. That's for the cataracts. We asked for a microscope. We asked for the moon, and they gave us the moon, the stars, and the sun. That's where that $1 million donation came in. So we were very thrilled about that. 2021 comes, 2022 comes, and we realize that Armenia is becoming a beacon for advanced eye care. It's not only treating the Armenians, the people from the Middle East, the people from Europe are all coming over, and it's really been a testament to Roger's genius and his vision and his perseverance, because right now, this is the most powerful thing. We're in a world that's very upside down. It's hostile. It's unpleasant. It's just not a pleasant place to be. But Armenia is becoming, it's delivering medical diplomacy. And that's a very positive thing. It's a very positive event that's happening in our country, our ancestral country, that is delivering positivity that really is just beyond description. And everyone in this room should take pride in how they've helped. So I'm just going to finalize this with one statement, and I'll say it in Armenian first, and then I'll say it in English next. But Minchev Aysor, Shadlav Chords, Andradziank, Pites, Dagavin, Shad, Anelik Ga, which means we've done a lot of good work, but there's a lot more to go. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dwayne. I might also add that when Dwayne came on this last trip, he brought over his son, Connor. And his son, Connor, is now completed his training in ophthalmology and is working with his dad. How great is that? I must also add that without the gifting of money so that we could start a regional eye center in some of these remote areas, we would never have needed all the equipment and been able to put it in that Alcon so generously has given to us. So by initiating these clinics, it's you, those of you who have given to the Eye Project for the Regional Eye Clinic, many of you who've tied it onto a family name or a number of people within or a memorial. It's made it so that we have places, locations, real estate where we can put in a clinic. And that's worked just so very well. So thank you. Thank all of you. And I'll have a big round of applause for you, our donors that have been so fantastic. Thank you.